Sports Gaming. Let's get into this one. Usyk versus Fury 2, the rematch. I made a statement in my pre-fight to this second fight. I said it's something that Tyson Fury fans would be upset about. I said that Tyson Fury cannot get out the way of the left hand. I said if he cannot get out the way of the left hand, or he doesn't have a response to the left hand in this rematch against Usyk, then he'll lose again. And it wasn't about coming in bigger and stronger, because that strategy doesn't work. As a matter of fact, Fury made the same mistakes that Anthony Joshua made in his rematch. The fight went in almost a similar fashion. Usyk is the type of fighter, Usyk is the type of fighter that like I said, if you look at how Joshua fought Usyk the first fight, anytime Joshua was getting out of his place, Usyk would hit him with a straight left hand and put him back in his place. It's just all well and good saying you're going to be big and strong and you're going to walk down opponents, right? And you're walking guys down in the gym and you're looking good in sparring. But it's not Alexander Usyk. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult for you to replicate that in the gym. And the stuff you'd get away with in the gym, where you'd throw shots and then exit, and the way you would exit at a punch with your chin up in the air, or exiting, pulling straight back, those things you would do in your gym against amateur fighters, against fighters that are, yeah, decent fighters, but not at the caliber of Alexander Usyk. And Fury cannot fight at that pace. In fact, Fury cannot fight. The thing was, what Alexander was trying to do was to engage Fury in a fight. He wanted Fury in a fight. If Fury boxes along and uses the jab and all that stuff, it's okay. But gauge him into a fight. If you gauge him into a fight, then he leaves himself open and more exposed. And you notice that's when Alexander was changing the angles and trying to get through the middle with Fury. He worked to Fury's body, which many fighters don't work to Fury's body, and he was hitting him straight through the middle with a straight left hand. And anytime he wanted to hit Fury with the left hand, it was there. Ultimately, that left hand won the fight. That right left hand won. Listen, Fury wasn't the champion in this fight; he's the challenger. So if you can pull out of me more than 6 rounds where Tyson Fury threw eye-catching punches. When I say eye-catching punches, and like, how often did Fury make Usyk go onto the back foot? And then you look at the punches that this smaller guy was able. Remember, Usyk is the champion. You have to beat the champion. And the punches that Tyson was throwing, Usyk was throwing, were eye catching. The times where Tyson was getting knocked back, you could hear the ooze on the arse every time Usyk threw that left hand. 9 times out of 10, he would hit Usyk with a shot. Yes, Fury was throwing punches, a lot of them caught in the arms and caught to the body. This time, how many times, if you see the body work, right, is what was necessary. And the body work, and that's what Usyk's weakness is. How many times did Tyson Fury really go to that body? And how much effect did it have? You can't go to the body expecting to have the same results being heavier. It's not logical. If you're heavier, then you're slower. That just means you're easier to get hit, and you're it's harder for you to get out of the way of punches. And this is what was going on. And with a guy that Usyk is coming from cruiserweight up to heavyweight, you can't be in a cagey fight with someone like Usyk. You're giving the guy time to think. You've got to fight Usyk, and you've got to be on him like round one. You see, like how Chisora fought Usyk? That is how you've got to fight Usyk. But you can't let Usyk be walking up on you, and you're a big man, and you're backing up to Usyk. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Lennox Lewis shows how to fight as a big man against a smaller guy. I think Lewis would have had problems with Usyk as well, to be honest. He says, I'd beat Usyk. But how many southpaws did Lennox Lewis fight in his career and beat? There were 3 southpaws. There was Michael Moorer, there was Corey Sanders, and there was this other guy, Chris Bird. Three heavyweights. Lennox went nowhere near those southpaws. But let me put Lennox to one side. This is Usyk's night. So just because Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, and Bob Arum sit there and say Tyson Fury is going to win the fight, and they keep saying Tyson Fury is going to win the fight, some sort of like psychological thing. If I say it enough times, it will happen. No, you got to win the fight inside the ring. You can give your opinions and you can give your thoughts. Oh, Tyson's going to win it, and when Tyson says, oh, he all he has to make minor adjustments. No, the biggest adjustment Tyson Fury had to make was to how to deal with the left hand. How you deal with the left hand. You have to deal with the. If you cannot deal with that left hand, then forget it. And because he's a big guy, Tyson, so when he's getting hit with them shots and he's going rocking back, and there's a few times, and you look at the combinations when Usyk would hit him with three shots, bap, 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 three shots he'd hit Tyson with. Tyson couldn't respond to that. Usyk's got the faster hands. He's got the better footwork. He's the better boxer. He's the more con- better conditioned boxer. He's the more consistent boxer. He sticks to a game plan. He can execute a game plan. So it's just, when you think you and when people start saying, well, because he beat Deontay Wilder, he should take the Deontay Wilder approach into fighting Usyk. I'm like, you've lost this fight already, mate. Like, the Kronk style is all about the knockout. And if your mindset is all about going forward, going forward, going forward, looking for the knockout, you also forget about the left hand. The left hand, and you're all focused on knockout. You're not focused on what's coming back, and it's what's coming back is winning Usyk the fight. So for me, here's a good example of Tyson Fury being unable to keep to a game plan, right? When Fury was there, where they were staring at one another for 10 minutes straight, and if Fury had that outburst, right there, he lost the fight. Because right there, it showed me you cannot stay to a game plan. You can go up to so far, you can do so much for so long, but in the end, you're going to revert back to what you did before. And for the most part, Fury went back to the same stuff he did last time. But this time it was easier for Usyk to win the fight. That's what I'm saying, right? When if you remember BWTM Sports, when Bashir said that this guy Usyk's got the potential to be the greatest heavyweight of our era, he said if he moves to heavyweight, he'll clean up at the heavyweight division, and he said that, and people were saying Bashir was talking shit. Come on now, everyone's talking about Usyk now, but we were talking about Usyk back in the day when he was just fighting for the WO Cruiserweight Championship of the world. So here's another thing to all Tyson Fury fans, just for a second. This is Alexander Usyk, and people said that Tyson Fury would have beaten Muhammad Ali. Excuse me. Tyson Fury would have beaten Muhammad Ali. He would have beaten George Foreman. Are, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? So you put the logic of a guy who can't box in Deontay Wilder against a master boxer. That's the game plan you come up with, and wonder why you're losing the fight. Oh, he's going to come in against what the Wilder fight because we had the rematch against Wilder. Yeah, he walked down Wilder. Yeah. Also, I got his ass dropped 4 times, 4 times in in 3 fights against guys who can't box. I'm just calling it for what it is, right? So you can't take them. And I've never seen a fighter use one fight to glorify or to say Fury would have had a better chance had he fought the way he'd have fought Klitschko. Because if that Fury, he was more jittery. He was more jittery. And then he could have drawn Alexander out and then caught him with the counters. But this Fury is walking forward like a mummy. And that might be good against a guy who can't box. But if you're static and you're walking forward like that, then you're going to get hit. And even when he tried to turn southpaw, he turned southpaw not because he was comfortable. He turned southpaw because he was not comfortable. I tell you another guy who did that stuff and turned southpaw uncomfortably was Frank Bruno. Do you remember when he fought Oliver McCall? Right, he boxed one way and then he turned southpaw to mess up McCall because he was tired, and that's how he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, they took that same strategy again against Mike Tyson, right? And him and Mike were together. Mike was obviously clearly winning the fight. Yeah, Bruno thinking, right, this would be a smart idea. I'll turn southpaw again. He turned southpaw. The minute he turned southpaw, Mike hit him with a right hand, and that was the end of the fight. That three punch combination. Bruno was down on his knee. Mike was WBC heavyweight champion of the world. The fight was a cleaner fight. So if you think you're just gonna come out, be big and be strong and be a roughhouse, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, and few and investment. Frank Warren said, "Oh, the weakness to Usyk's to the body." The one man who may give Usyk a problem. There's a couple of guys who I think that could give Usyk a problem, but whoever fights Usyk to beat him has got to match his work rate. So you've got to look across the heavyweight division and think, okay, if you haven't got dynamite one punch power, right? Because Tyson's not a dynamite one punch knockout artist against the elite guys. He's not. He's not. So if you're gonna beat Usyk, for me, and he didn't even fight Usyk the way you meant to fight him. To fight a southpaw, and I'm not saying I'd beat Usyk, but I'm saying to beat a southpaw, you've got to keep the southpaw against the ropes as much as possible, because you back him up, you beat him up, which means you've got to keep Usyk's back against the ropes and not have him circling around the ring. For the most part, you've got to get his back against the ropes, keep him close, keep close to him, keep tight to him, and work on him. Get his back to the ropes. When he backs to the ropes, walk him down, step in, use the double jab, fake him, get him to the ropes, and then do your work. Because he's not southpaw or orthodox. He's just a guy on the ropes. Do you get me? He's not there or there. He's just on the ropes. That's where you do your work. So you back him up, you beat him up. James Ed Bashir said it. What's this other guy? Staten McKinley said it to me. That's how you beat a southpaw. You put him to the ropes and then you do your work. Especially a guy like Usyk, you've got to stop him outworking you. So you've got to end every round on top. You've got to end every round. You've got to be able to end with the exclamation mark at the end of every round. You've got to outwork Usyk. But if Usyk's the man chasing you out of the ring, you're a big 6'8" guy making a guy 6'3", who's what, 30 pounds lighter than you, or 40 pounds lighter than you, walk you around the ring. And you see dog walking you around the ring. That's basically what he did. He did it to Joshua. He's did it to Fury. So I don't think it's necessarily a big guy that's going to beat Usyk. I think a guy from cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight, I think, would give him a better fight. Based on that performance, Fury beats AJ. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because after what Tyson Fury Dubois did to AJ, as long as he's with Ben Davidson, he'll get absolutely smashed to bits. AJ. It could be a good fight if AJ can get his head right. You know. Does Dubois? Not really. I don't believe Dubois does. I think Dubois. I think Dubois first has to get past Joseph Parker. He beats Joseph. See, the work rate of Daniel Dubois, his work rate could beat Joseph Parker. His work rate. That's where I see everyone's kind of thinking that. Yeah, it's a shame, Eugene. It really is. It's a crying shame. Guys who I think would have a good chance against Usyk. I think the cruiserweight champion, the current cruiserweight champion of the world, would give Usyk some problems because he can fight at a pace. He's powerful. He's got good footwork. He's also a southpaw. Jay Apataya, I think he would give Usyk problems. I think he'd give. Wait, I want to go back a second and say something, yeah? I have to say it. Do you remember those days when people were saying Canelo could beat Usyk? Would you dare put Canelo in the ring now with Usyk? I don't know, mate. I don't know if Fury beats Dubois. I don't know about that. And I'll tell you why I don't know about it. It's pace setting. Fury has shown he cannot fight at a high pace and maintain it now at this age. You can't do it. You can't maintain it. At some point, Fury's going to get caught with Dubois' right hand. Fury cannot fight like how this guy fought against Dubois, um, Herkovich, and I don't rate Herkovich. But one thing about Herkovich, he fought at a pace. He was throwing ferocious, a whole heap of punches. Yeah, I know, bruv. Canelo got stuck by Bivol en route. His note just moving a bit. Yeah, I know. The people keep disrespecting Dubois. Dubois' work rate is key. His work rate is phenomenal. This guy's going to keep coming, and he's a heavy puncher, and he's going to keep coming and coming and keep at you all the time. That's what Joseph Parker's got to be ready to prepare to fight. I said a long time ago, yeah, you don't think I'm crazy saying this. I thought Joseph Parker stood a great chance of becoming undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I did. I did because I thought he's got everything there. He's got speed, he's got movement, he's got great chin, he's got punching power, put punch together. He's got good stamina. So I thought Joseph Parker had the right height and build and everything there to be a heavyweight champion of the world and then go on to become undisputed. A fight I would actually like to see is Parker versus Usyk. I think that makes a great fight. I really do. But I think, again, Usyk's speed of foot and work rate will befuddle Parker. And when Parker's looking for him here, Usyk could be back around there. And Usyk would walk Parker onto shots. I don't think Usyk destroys Parker. I don't think he destroys Parker. Because, again, you're looking at a guy who's a little bit faster. He's short. He's closer to Usyk's size. So I don't think he destroys Parker. I don't think he destroys Parker. Right? Because I mean, Usyk doesn't destroy many people. He doesn't destroy. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight. I don't think stylistically, Dubois versus Parker is a good fight for Parker. I don't because the pace that's been set. I said that about Anthony Joshua. I said that about the Herkovich fight. It's the pace that Dubois sets. But Usyk versus Jay Patai, but I would see that fight at Bridgerweight. For Jay to come up now up to heavyweight and fight Usyk now, I don't know. He needs to be adjusted at the heavyweight. It's a different situation. You know, the other thing is, I hope he doesn't go back to cruiserweight. The other thing you got to think about is when you move up to heavyweight, now Usyk is now a heavyweight. Forget the cruiserweight talk. He's a heavyweight. Yeah. So Jay Patai has to put that weight on, and then go 12 rounds and get hit on the chin. Or can he take a real heavyweight punch? I mean, Usyk can punch, right? Again, I told you about that left hand. He hit Tyson Fury a few times with that left hand, and Tyson Fury's eyes started opening up. Like, Jesus, this guy hits hard. So the eyes don't lie. Um, Usyk could end up being like one of these guys like Bruce Lee, to be honest, where you just he becomes mythical. But I think Usyk would have done well in the Mike Tyson era. I think he would have done well in the Muhammad Ali era because he's a thinking fighter, very intelligent. I tell you, a fight between Ali and Usyk would have been great because you've got two guys there who are masters. And remember, I know Ali's an all-time great, right? He did get beat by Leon Spinks. He did get beat by Leon Spinks. He did get beat by Joe Fraser. So it's not like Ali was unbeatable, but it's just what the guy stood for, and he still is, the greatest of all time. Of course, I respect Ali like that, but you have a guy now, Usyk, who's got footwork, who's got power, who's got a great chin, who's got movement. I mean, and Ali's been down a few times in his career as well. Usyk's not been down like that. So I'm not saying Usyk beats Ali, but he certainly belong. He can belong in that era. He does. Yeah, I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see again mythical matchups. You know, David Hay against Alexander Usyk. Just David's got that power. He can come in and slip in and out. But once Usyk works David out, and Usyk and David can't knock the Usyk over, then I think Usyk goes on and stops someone like David Hay. He's a great fighter, Usyk. Really great fighter. Oh, Dave Allen. Well, ST and my guy. I said for years. I said to Dave Allen when he was unbeaten, and I used to talk to Dave Allen a lot on and off camera. I was pretty close to Dave. I said, Dave, they'll line you up to become a journeyman fighter. I'm telling you this. But the people around Dave Allen, they they were more interested, I guess, in their pockets or more interested in not listening to boxing insight. So we saw what's happened with Dave's career now. And tonight was another example of how you use David Allen as a stepping stone. David Allen was the stepping stone, right? And Johnny Fisher isn't good enough, quite frankly. And let me give you an example of something, yeah? Fighters usually give you a indication of where they're going with their careers, yeah? Quite like David Price. When David Price fought, who did he fight? He fought Matt Skelton. And Matt Skelton put pressure on Price, and Price didn't look that good. And then I said about Audie Harrison. I said Audie Harrison had the tools to beat Price. Price knocked Audie out, Sparko, yeah? But it was only a couple of fights later, if not the next fight, Tony Thompson came along and absolutely ruined David Price. Fighters usually fight in patterns. I've said this for years, and they usually give you an idea as to what is about to happen in their career. And I and I think, I honestly think that what you saw of Johnny Fisher today, or Johnny Fisher, is it Johnny Fisher? Or what's his name again? Is it Johnny Fisher? Anyway, what you saw of Fisher tonight was exactly what he is. Yeah, the Romford Bull. Ah, that's right. I'm not disrespecting the guy, but he's not. He's not. If he wins a British title, he's okay. If he wins a British title, right? But you want to put him in with Fably Wardley? Are you serious? You want to kill that boy? I wouldn't even stick. I won't stick Fisher anywhere near David Adelaide. Hell no. And you wouldn't put Johnny Fisher. He's too straight up and down. He's too straight up and down. No head movement. Like flat track bully. Congratulations to Moses Atama tonight on that left hand and knocking out Mackenzie. What's his name? McKean. Dempsey McKean. I think Tyson View would have called McKean a dosser, a stiff, a stiff dosser. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I told you I don't rate Herkovich. I've never rated Herkovich. Dave Allen never won a Southern Area title, and Hearn put him in with Ortiz because no one else wanted a part of him. I warned Dave Allen. I warned him. I think Cameron, you were around in the times when I was warning Dave Allen. I warned him. I said you're gonna get used like I tell you when I knew who's gonna get used. There was this guy. He was with Adam Booth. He was from Sheffield. Richard Towers. They were trying to make a fight between Richard Towers and Dave Allen, and the fight lined up, and he was still unbeaten. And then he had a that against a French guy he struggled with. And I said, Dave, up here, mate. They're setting you up. You're gonna give you a couple of fights, unbeaten for a minute, and then they're gonna set you up to be a judge. That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. Dave had a better career, I think. He could have. Could have. It's a shame. The guy's got a good chin, good stamina. He's got good experience. He knows how to cut the range, ring off. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Real shame about Dave Allen. Usyk beat a whole country, or more or less. Is Denise here? Where's Denise? It is sad about Dave Allen. It is sad. It's very sad. Much should have investigated for putting Allen in with Ortiz. Possibly. Won by at least 3 rounds. Let's see what's got here. Yeah, it's a shame about that though. Imagine gold medalists born on January 17th fight each other. Usyk versus Ali should be played out on your gaming channel. Yep, well, I'll get the Undisputed out and see if I can get that going. We all saw what happened to Roy Jones going to heavy and then dropping back down. We'll wait to go. Yeah, but Roy Jones did that. Usyk isn't that stupid. Roy Jones did that to get the Tarver fight. That's what happened. That's what happened. So, yeah, that's what happened. That's why that fight ended up the way it was in the end. I don't foresee Usyk dropping down to cruiserweight again. I just don't think it happens. If I'm honest with you, I don't think it happens. Although he's talking about it, I don't see it happening. Me personally, I think I would like Usyk to retire now. He's got nothing else to prove, and anything he does from now on, I think is about ruining that legacy. He's beaten Tyson. The only other fight I think Usyk should consider having, right? And this is a crazy one, yeah? Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko or Deontay Wilder. And I'll tell you why. Because if you were to beat Vladimir and if you were to beat Wilder and Vladimir, A, there'd be fantasy fights, one, and two, he would say he would have dominated over a time. So yeah. All right. Let me see if I can take this conversation upstairs. Oh. Right. Let me go upstairs. Take this upstairs.
All good?
All good, brother. All good. Right. Okay. I'm with you guys. I tried to make it back upstairs. All right. Let's keep talking. Right. There we go. Right. Let's continue. This Joshua Fury Wilder where is over. Shane Politics stopped more of them fights at the peak. Well, yeah. Warren and Hearn to blame for that happening, I guess. Evening, Ingram. Everyone on the Ultra Tech stream thought they 3-1. I'm shocked. Thought Usyk won 7-5. Well, I think it's reverse psychology happening here. If you keep on talking about something enough, Fury's going to win the fight. Fury's going to win the fight. Fury's going to win the fight. You cannot go into a fight watching a fight objectively. So people want Fury to win the fight because they want to see Fury versus Joshua, even though Fury versus Joshua is going to happen anyway. So they just can't accept the fact that Usyk's a better fighter. That's what that is, I believe. That's why I truly say. So because I keep saying, oh yeah, let me give you an example of something. Let me give you an example of a fight. Yeah. Joshua's going to beat Dubois. Joshua's going to beat Dubois. Joshua's going to beat Dubois. Yeah. If Joshua hits Dubois with that right hand, then he's going to knock out Dubois. Yeah. But Herkovich and Joshua are two different fighters. They throw punches differently. Joshua will never come out. He's too scared to come out and fight like Herkovich because he got chinned. So he won't do that. He's not that type of fighter. So, and by the way, Joshua did hit Dubois with the right hand. What ended up happening? Joshua ended up getting knocked out. So you can keep saying something enough over and over and over again, but that doesn't make it be true. It doesn't make it be true, particularly in boxing. Uh, of course, people scored the fight are biased because, of course, they're biased. They of course they're biased. Look at the people who were at the front. Oh yeah, the people in the front all scored it for Fury. Well, of course they did. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum. Let's be honest. None of them three geezers appreciate Usyk. They don't appreciate Usyk. Worst thing Fury ever did was go to Kronk, change his whole style due to laziness. Well, yeah, I'd say so. Joseph Robinson, I agree with you. Dave Allen really had all the tools to go very far. The heavyweight division never took boxing seriously. I disagree, ST. I think his legs have gone, and they turned it to his style. Well, well, okay. Let's take it. When did this Kronk style, come into play? The Kronk style came into play after Tyson left Ben Davison, right? Am I correct? And it was the second fight, the first fight of Wilder after Wilder Fury walked Wilder back in the 12th round. Fury worked out and said, right, if I can push Wilder back, I can win this fight and neutralize his punching power. So he went with this for the second fight. Bulked up and pushed Wilder back. Brilliant. And he had success with that. So when he fought guys like Chisora and Dillian White, I mean, these guys are flat footed, pretty basic up and down fighters. No disrespect to them now. That worked for them. But you can't be using the flat foot mummy style against Usyk. You can't do it. Let's see here. Perhaps, but since his legs have gone, surely his best bet was to stay with the Pete Fury style, hit and don't get hit. You have to remember, if you can go back, I don't know how many you can track back, but Tyson Fury did not like the training camps of Peter Fury. They were good for him, but he didn't like it. And if you go back, I'm sure, which fight was it he had? Wasn't it against Christian Hammer, where he was big for that Hammer fight? He hadn't fought for a year. He had that Hammer fight. And then after the Hammer fight, he then fought Klitschko for the championship of the world. The shape that Fury was in for that fight. Now, here's something to also consider. If you're in that time after that fight, Fury got banned. So that same Fury performance, it is what it is. He got banned from boxing for 2 years because of the stuff they had in his system. Did that have anything to do with the way Tyson Fury moved around the ring? I don't know, but it's something to think about. As you know, we forget Tyson was banned for 2 years. If you would call it a silent ban, but it was banned for 2 years. I do not agree. Tyson legs were gone. They refused to speak a word to each other. Well, documented things happened personally. Well, I know that it, I know that when they were training, when he was in camp with Peter, even though Peter helped him win the championship of the world, um, I he didn't like the regimental style, the military style type of training. That, but then Peter would often talk about when you're out of the gym, you should not be allowing yourself to blow up 30, 40, 50 pounds. So it's discipline. Peter was very, very, very disciplined man, very, very disciplined, military type. I remember him telling me when I was in camp with him when he was preparing Huey to fight. What's this guy's name again for the British title? Can't remember the dude's name again. It wasn't McDermott. It wasn't McDermott, but Huey was fighting somebody for the British title in Bolton. And I tell you, that's where I met David Adelaide. I met him. I saw Savannah Marshall there in camp sparring. There's quite a few of them. Sam Sexton, that's the dude. Sam Sexton, yeah. So they're preparing for the Sam Sexton fight. I remember watching how Pete would train. I said, so this guy is like military, not military mindset, military trained. He talked to me about where he learnt about his training and his boxing drills and the fitness and stuff like that. And you got a guy that's like pinpoint as a trainer in Peter Fury, and he won't take any nonsense. So when you've got now Tyson here, that I don't think Tyson would look the way he looks now if he was still with Peter Fury. He wouldn't. So is what it is, you know. So there will always be a question mark around the Klitschko win based on the fact that he got banned for 2 years. So, I mean, was it Nandrolin and the pigs and the farmer and all that stuff and Vada? There was all that stuff that surrounded Tyson Fury at that time. And that's where he picked up his greatest win, which was Klitschko. So, it was, that's that to me. That is something. Yeah, Hugh's still fighting. He fought the other day. Had a good. He's picking up wins. So yeah. Um, so that doesn't take away the fact that Tyson's boxing ability. But yeah, there is one other thing I want to discuss with you all tonight before I go off. Um, Johnny Nelson said that Alexander Usyk is a bang average southpaw. Um, I don't quite know where we begin with this, but Johnny Nelson said he's a bang average southpaw. Is Usyk a bang average southpaw? Undisputed cruiserweight champion, undisputed heavyweight champion, world amateur champion, Olympic gold medalist. No, Usyk knocks Bacoli out. Johnny Nelson makes my blood boil. Don't like his commentary style at all. I don't. I can't. How you can say that he's got a bang average style? Nelson said Brook could beat GGG and McGregor had a chance against Floyd. Yeah, he did say that. So yeah, he did have a chance against Floyd, a chance, which was no chance. That he had a chance, which was no chance. I don't know how he thought Brook could beat GGG, but there you go. Company man, right, Johnny? But I can't. Okay, anybody in the room think that Johnny Nelson would beat Alexander Usyk at a cruiserweight? I don't think many people would say anything about that. Johnny always been talking shit about Usyk forever. It is annoying. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. Um, Johnny, Johnny, that had worst I'd ever saw at any level. Never. Chance. Where do you think Fury goes from here, sir? The Joshua fight, clearly, and the only other thing you could think about for Fury to be three-time heavyweight champion of the world is fight for the WBA strap that Kubrat Pulev won. If he beat Kubrat for that regular title, he could fight for that regular title, or he could go down the route and fight Dubois. But otherwise, obviously just a Joshua fight. Nelson doesn't beat Marco Hook, let alone Usyk. Remember, Nelson was getting to come out of retirement about 10 years ago to fight Hook for the WO. Yeah, I remember that one. What about Nelson versus Macronelli? About that fight? Enzo Maccarinelli versus Johnny Nelson. People forget about Enzo. Enzo Maccarinelli, Johnny Nelson. What about David Hay versus um, Johnny Nelson? I don't know, but Nelson had his moment, I think. But I don't. he, I don't know how he can call Usyk a bang average heavy southpaw. I don't. It's mystifying. And I think there needs to be, in my closing thoughts, there needs to be an investigation as to Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen. That's disgusting. It needs to be reviewed. That needs to be a rematch. That rematch needs to happen as soon as possible. And one final thing before I close tonight. It's amazing how politics work in boxing. They really did everything to make Pulev heavyweight champion. Yeah, they did. One final thing. Um, I was gonna say, I couldn't remember what I was gonna say now. That fight needs to be rematch. Yeah, one final thing. I'm saying it again about Liam Cameron. Liam Cameron, my good friend, my brother. Be very careful. Be very, very careful, because I've seen this happen before. I think the good example of that is when Andy Rees beat Anthony Joshua, and then Rees got buttered up and sweetened up, and then after that happened, the rematch came, and Rees's mind was not on the job, and Joshua won the title back. Um, so it was criminal tonight. Big John Fury even told Dave Allen that he thought he won, not Fury. Sorry. What did that make Fury and Joshua? They need to be reviewed, but we know it's not happening. They need to review, yeah. So I'm going to finish, yeah, on Leon Cameron. I think Ben Whitaker is, he has been told by Ben Shalom to find a new team. And I think they're going to stretch out as long as possible, iron out the problems that Ben Whitaker had against Cameron. Either get a warm up fight and then get the rematch with Cameron, or go straight into rematch with Cameron, who would have been resting on his laurels against Whitaker. And I think in the rematch, Whitaker's going to beat Cameron. Is is Johnny Fisher the biggest ticket seller? I've said to people that I thought Cameron would give Whitaker problems. He's a good fighter. I don't. Somebody said Carthage called him British level. I think Cameron's better than British level, to be honest. I think he's European fringe world level. That's what I think. Agree with you on Liam Cameron. The perfect time to organise rematch between Fury and Klitschko. Klitschko's old, but he's a boxer. Here's a little secret for you both as well. So, Vladimir Klitschko wants to be the heavyweight champion of the world again, and he wants to be the oldest heavyweight champion in the world of history. So, Vladimir Klitschko wants to break the record. So, you heard it from me. Vladimir Klitschko wants to be the heavyweight champion of the world, but the oldest one in boxing history. That's what he's waiting to do. So Vladimir's coming back. Does anyone actually want to see that rematch? Klitschko versus Fury. I think that might be a good fight now in 2025. Might be a good fight. Because Fury's not fighting the same way anymore. He's more open to get hit with the right hand. So that would be good. Liam Cameron is a beast. First time ever even hearing about Liam Cameron on your channel. Yeah, he's a good fighter. He beat my guy Sam Sheedy. Fury and Joshua lost their last fights. If there's a fight now, it will be the fight of losers. Yeah, that's exactly what it'd be, Supreme. Well, that's exactly what it was going to be. You have your contacts in Grim. You need to do some digging to see whether there was anything dodgy with the judges tonight. I'm sure it'll come out in the wash. 7 years is a long time out. Stay retired. No, I think Klitschko's going to come back, mate. They've, I think Klitschko's going to try and come back. Is Johnny Fisher the biggest ticket seller? I don't know. But Johnny Fisher's got problems now, I'm telling you. I don't know where he's going with that style. I don't know where he's going with that style. He's got problems, Johnny Fisher. Your coverage of some MCU fight. Thank you very much. Yeah, Johnny Fisher's got some big problems. Um, I, I think he's got to change his style. He's a guy that needs his style changed. He's too upright. Um, and that Dave Allen fight, it needs to be a rematch. Who should Fury and Joshua face for a beautiful victory? What kind of punch should Dave choose? I would actually, I'm not being funny, yeah? I'm not being funny. I'd put Johnny Fisher in with Anthony Joshua. Hear me out when I say this, yeah? Yes, I know he's a young fighter, yeah? But I don't think his ceiling's that high. And Joshua's come off a bad defeat, yeah? So Johnny Fisher versus Anthony Joshua ain't too bad. Because you know Fisher's going to come and bang. He can bang. And you know Joshua is not great against guys who can punch hard and want to have a fight. So I'd make that fight. I'd make Johnny Fisher versus Anthony Joshua. Because ultimately, I don't see Fisher going on to become heavyweight champion of the world. I'm sorry, I don't. Unless he makes serious changes to his style. He's too upright, too stiff, too upright when he gets hit with a punch. So I don't hold much future for him. So if you're going to get banged out, at least get banged out by Anthony Joshua, two-time heavyweight champion. Oh, yeah, just two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Why not? I'd watch that fight. Joshua versus Cornish too. You're a comedian, Cameron. So I'd take that. It's a good cash out fight for Johnny Fisher. If you get beat, you get beat by Anthony Joshua. It's not a bad thing getting beat by Anthony Joshua. A lot of guys get beat by Anthony Joshua. Um, but yeah, Fury Chisora 4, no. I wouldn't mind seeing Chisora fight Anthony Joshua as well. There was talk about that fight. I think Klitschko has a chance with Dubois if he fights a very disciplined and keep it long, just like I think Wilder's chance against Dubois as well. Then you've got Dillian White that's floating around as well. So Joshua could fight Dillian White. There's a good fight for Joshua. Dillian White, a dangerous fight because Dillian seems to have that. Tate is a good fighter, man. That Tete is a good fighter. He could take a heck of a shot. Um, White Chisora, yeah. Another fight Joshua could have. Joshua versus Bacoli. That'd get him right back up there. Fury versus Bacoli. Another good fight. Fury versus, what's this guy's name? Zhang. Fury versus Zhang. Joshua versus Zhang. It's not going to be easy. All these guys are coming to the end of their careers. I think so. And in Fury, what's the motivation? He got 100 million. He got one, just under 70 million. He got some of it's going to get 30. I think 30% of it goes to the tax man. It's still a heck of a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know these guys, but congratulations to Rosa Talma. Congratulations, good win tonight. The opponent must be reliable, so that he lost 100% and everyone considered him strong. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Shout out to my friends from Ukraine. Shout out to them again. A shout out to Ukrainian media. They always cover my interviews. And shout out to my man, Vlad Serenko. This is the time for Vlad Serenko in 2025. If he's ever going to make a move, 2025 is the year for Vlad Serenko to make his move. Do you really believe the hype of Itama? Not yet. Yeah, it was a good knockout tonight. You got to give the boy credit for that. But there are lots of things I still want to see. I want to see him take a good shot. I want to see him come through a challenge. You know what I mean? I'm just used to the old school. Do you know? Get hit by a guy who throws a good punch, come through that. Fight a guy who takes your best punch and gives you punches back. See you do that. Let's see you come for a tricky period in your fight. Let's see you come through that. Once you've done all those things, then I'll think, yeah, Town was a prospect. He's not a contender yet. Yeah, he's 19, and you don't know how if he can keep his head. Like, is he gonna fall off? Is his head gonna fall off? The more pressure is putting in him, is he gonna fall apart? Is he gonna rise to the occasion? We just don't know. He's 19 years old, and I'm not knocking the fact he's 19, but you know, experience is something you can't buy. Do you understand? Uh, Itama Chisora would be great. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. That'd be a good fight. Tama needs a guy who's strong, takes a good punch, um, and Flippin's not gonna have his head on the line. Dempsey was never a good fighter, if we're being honest. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a good fighter. He had a padded record, and let's be honest about Dempsey. He fought Herkovich, a guy again I didn't rate. Didn't rate him. There's guys I rate in the heavyweight division. Ajit Kabayel, that dude there. And boy's a bad boy. I like him. I like this guy Richard Torres. I want to see more of Torres in 2025. I want to see more of Richard Torres. I think he's good. Yeah. Right. Let me get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate you as always. Um, Imagine pay per view. Yeah. We paid pay per view to watch a fight that we know the other guy won, but we're being told that a guy who got dropped was on the verge of being stopped, was getting beaten up in there, won the fight. It's not good. That what we saw tonight with Dave Allen and Johnny Fisher, it's soul destroying. It could break a man's heart. Imagine you dedicate yourself. You say, right, okay, I'm really going to train for this one. I'm really going to give it a go. And then afterwards, you give it a go. You do well. You put the work in, and you're still robbed. That that's soul destroying. So there's two men tonight that are going home tonight who's going to have to ask questions themselves. Dave Allen and Tyson Fury. Dave Allen, he was robbed, point blank. And Tyson Fury, beating Wilder doesn't mean you can beat Alexander Usyk. And putting on more weight doesn't make you a better fighter. You have to have the technical skills. I said it after the first fight. If you Tyson Fury, if you cannot find a way to either get out of the way or block the left hand, you're not beating Usyk in a second fight. It is what it is. You can shout until the cows come home. Tyson Fury's gonna win the fight. Tyson Fury's gonna win the fight. But ultimately, Usyk won the fight. The better boxer, the better footwork, the better punch output, the better stamina, the better ring IQ, the better ring generalship. Just a better fighter. Fury looked very good today. I thought he was using illegal drugs, greater endurance when fat. That didn't help him either. So even if he was using it, that didn't help either. Yes, I could do some more UFC streaming. I'm gonna start streaming the Undisputed again. See if I can start my 0-1 first round knockout defeat. Let's see if I can come back and do something in the game. Right, I'm out of here. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, share the videos, please. Um, get in there and also use the super thanks as well. I've just added super thanks on the channel, so we appreciate you all. Thanks so much. This has been BWTM Sports. Ingram Jones in the house. I'm out. Good night.